Great. So thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining in. And it's a lovely Saturday evening out here. It's a pleasant weather. Uh, and we have people still joining in, but in the interest of time, we will get started. So it's my pleasure to welcome Vinay Pushpakaran, our speaker for the day. Before introducing Vinay formally, let me share a couple of community updates. We are growing every day, adding a couple of people. So we are growing around 40 to 50 members a week. So that is the kind of average now we are having. We are adding new members regularly. New cities are being added regularly. So now we have friends in Sikandrabad, we have got friends in Jamshedpur, we have got friends in Shillong, we have got friends in Jaipur, we have got friends in Mangaluru. So these are the new cities where our friends are coming from. So that's a good sign. Thank you so much, and let us look forward for active engagement of everyone. So that's about it. Let us begin today's session. Let me introduce Vinay. Oh boy, so Vinay is a communication coach, sales strategies, and a professional speaker. So just imagine when a strategist turns to be a coach, and that is where he makes wonders with the companies with whom he collaborates, and he helps them strategize their sales as well as their business planning. Vinay has got experience with multiple corporates, as I can see. He has worked with UB Group and Patamal Group, and then afterwards, he has also been volunteering with various communities and events. And then he formally started his own startup as Future Impact Learning. Definitely, he's going to cover a couple of points on this his startup and what activities he is involved into. And thank you so much for joining in, sparing this time, and welcome, Vinay. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chintan, for both inviting me for this beautiful event for this beautiful community, and also this opportunity to talk about my favorite topic, that is sales and marketing. So it's uh, before we move on to sales and marketing and the topic for today, which is sales strategies in the new normal. So before that, I have a question for all of you who are here today. Are you willing to be completely transparent and open to looking at exciting new ways of selling your products and services? Is this an opportunity to try out something new or to look at something totally in a very new way? That is where I want to start today's session for. And before that, thank you very much for giving up your Saturday evening and maybe even the IPL match and being here today and for this session. In today's session, you'll be getting insights and actionable tips on how to craft a smart sales strategy for your business, an approach that can make your business, say, calamity proof. And I will be sharing a very simple method of doing a quick SWOT analysis of your existing sales strategy. And then after that, we'll be looking at a three-step process which can help each one of us align our sales strategy to the current environment or the current set of challenges that we all face in our business. Uh, you'll have to slightly give me a minute to get used to the I generally do my sessions on Zoom. I've done a couple of sessions on Google Meet, so I'm not as fast on Google Meet as I'm on Zoom. So I will share my presentation here.
No
So
problem. We are here to guide you. So that's absolutely fine,
thank
Vinay.
you. Okay, great. So as my presentation is getting converted and shared right now, I have a request. Please have a piece of paper or a notepad and a pen with you, because this is because I believe that a session is most effective when we are able to apply what we are learning. So please have a notepad and a pen with you, and we'll also be using the chat window quite frequently. So yes. I've just hello Webber. I'm trying to do sales with my product. Safety smartwatch. Wow, nice. We will be talking about that. In fact, how the session will go is that for the first 60 to 70 minutes, we'll be talking. I'll be taking you through this presentation, and after that, we will have an open Q&A session where I'll try to answer as many questions as we have the time. In case I'm not able to, attend to all the questions during this the time frame, please do connect with me on LinkedIn and share your questions there, and I will definitely reply to each and every one. Yes, my presentation is ready to be shared.
So you have to click on present now.
Yes. It's taking a bit of time. I think, yeah, I've
And
already
select
done that.
entire screen rather than just one
Entire
slide.
screen. Oh, okay, okay. Entire screen.
It's
All
less
right.
confusing actually.
Yep.
Super.
Is my presentation visible?
Yes, it is
Yes.
visible, but you'll have to go to slideshow mode. I guess now it
Slideshow
is
mode.
not. Yeah,
Okay.
now it is not.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Yes. All right. Yeah. Yes. So we start off the session by
But the slides are not
a
visible.
small little, story of. Oh, the slides are not visible.
No, no, no. They are
Oh,
not visible. Visit to yourself.
oh, 1 second. Yeah. I hope it's visible now.
Yes, now it's visible.
Yes, now
Yeah,
it
I
is
hope
visible.
it's visible now. Yeah. Ah, great, great. Okay. So as I said, in today's session, the key takeaways from today's session would be a quick SWOT analysis of your sales strategy of your existing business, and how to introduce something that I call as the feel factor into your business, which makes a huge difference in the changing business landscape today, especially for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and basically aspiring startups as well. And of course, after that, we go through the three-step sales strategy process, sales strategy, which will basically give you insights to scale up your business with sales as the focal point. And then at the end, I mean, we all love tips and hacks, so I'll be sharing 5 tips and hacks basically for blockbuster selling.
Vinay, can you just
A little bit about me. When I'm doing that, I believe it's yeah. Is it fine now?
Yes, it is better. Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes. All right, a little bit about me. My name is Vinay Pushpakaran, and what I do is I empower professionals to sell without guilt and speak without fear. That's what I do. I'm a sales strategist, a coach, and an author. I'm a member of the Professional Speakers Association of India, which is affiliated to the Global Speakers Federation. And other than this, I also run a venture called Future Impact Learning, which is a public speaking academy. We work with students and corporates in the domain of public speaking and communication skills. I come from the sales and marketing background, and I enjoy writing. I enjoy writing short stories. I'm a published short story writer, and I also do a few reviews and book reviews and movie reviews in my spare time. So that's a little bit about me. And before we go to the next one, I started off my sales and marketing career right after my college. I started off my sales and marketing career with the largest alcohol beverage brand in India, and I was handling millionaire brands like Royal Challenge, Signature, Honeybee, and it was an absolutely different feel. In fact, I had a cushy, a very comfortable marketing budget of a multi-crore marketing budget. I had customers lining outside shops to buy my brand. Any promotion, any activity that I did was a blockbuster hit. At the age of 26, I started feeling like I'm a marketing guru. And then reality struck. A few years later, when I quit the UB group and joined another company, and from alcohol, I shifted to milk. Quite a drastic shift out there. And instead of the Indian market, I was marketing the entire dairy products category in West and Central Africa. And I was handling a brand which was a brand new brand, if I can call it. And I was working my way up for the brand, and I was basically entrusted with launching the brand and taking it to the customers. A very different experience, but I was on the steroids of performance, and I was like, wow, okay, this is not a big deal. I'm gonna go and just set it out. And that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly where I fell flat on my face. Not a single promotion worked. The sales never picked up. The sales team looked at me with the kind of expression that, okay, what does this guy know about it? He's been selling alcohol, and he doesn't know how to do. He doesn't know how to, create a marketing strategy or a sales strategy for anything other than alcohol. And there's that saying that once you sell alcohol, once you sell an alcohol beverage, you end up doing that for the rest of your life. There's that saying that goes. So that's what that is what greeted me in the first 4 months of my new work role. And I realized that all the learning was down to zilch. Everything that I had picked up was down to zilch, and I couldn't figure out where exactly am I going wrong. I'm giving out trade schemes, I'm giving out offers, I'm having the most aesthetic, most gorgeous looking posters and hoardings and promotional material. I've got the best designers, churning out nice content for me. Then where exactly am I going wrong? I just couldn't figure that out. And then one fine day, I got the most important sales and marketing advice of my life. Any guesses where I got that from? No, not from my reporting manager, not from my VP, and not from my team as well. I got that piece of advice from a very simple housewife from a small little town in a place called Kumasi in West Africa, in Ghana. We were doing a research drive there, and we wanted to know why the brand was not taking off, and we were talking to people, and we were talking to consumers, and then we reached this small little hut, maybe some place which was maybe in the lower middle class, is in the C category of an audience, where that price is a very important factor. So I started off my discussion and I started asking that how important is price, and okay, if we price it and if we give this as a free add-on for you, how would you promote? And this lady out there just kept quiet through the entire conversation. And I was like, okay, this interview is gone for a toss. And I was almost prepared to wrap up and get up and leave from there when she quietly asked me, sir, what brand shirt are you wearing? I was like, okay. Okay, I was puzzled, but I said, yeah, it's an Arrow shirt. Said, oh, you're wearing an Arrow shirt. Nice. So why you wear Arrow shirt? She was speaking, she was basically, she used to speak French, but then, she spoke in broken English, said, why you wear Arrow shirt? I said, I wear Arrow shirt because I like the brand. It's a very reputed brand, and I like the way, I like the texture, and I just said a few things, and I like the designs they have. Oh, nice. Okay. So I said, okay, what does that have to do with this brand of evaporated milk? I was going there to talk about evaporated milk, and why is that? How is this question relevant? I was saying this is 23% fat, and this is like amazing product. She said, sir, do you know that we also look at brand? I said, okay. Why do you think we look at brand? Okay, I felt like I was the guy on whom the research was happening. I said, okay, maybe I said, I don't know, maybe you look for the brand which is the cheapest and the most reasonable brand, and you get good fat percentage. Sir, there's a difference there. You wear Arrow because of all these things that you told. For me, if I buy the wrong brand of evaporated milk, I buy one can of that, and it's a wrong brand that I buy, my child sleeps hungry that night. That statement stayed with me all these years. It just completely, drastically shifted the entire paradigm of what sales and marketing meant to me. We often do that when we are very, we're very passionate about our business, about concept that was there in our idea, and then we make it into a business, and then we're very passionate about it, and we are talking about it. It comes out in the way we speak, in the way we express about the brand. All that is great, but sometimes happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's also happened to me, because when I started my first venture in 2009, when I first started my first venture, that's something that's a cycle that I went through, because I realized one thing, that when we are passionate about our product or our service or our business, we often tend to forget about the customer. What that lady in that small little hut in Kumasi said in that one single sentence was that, sir, the question that she slapped across my face was very simple. Sir, do you know why we buy what we buy? Or do you think that you know why we buy what we buy. In sales and marketing, the number one and the most important thing is that, do we understand why our customer buys? Do we understand how our customer feels when he buys? Because these two questions decide how our business takes off. These two questions decide how we take our business, take our product or our service into our customer's heart. Unfortunately, when we often end up aiming at the wallet, but the place where we're supposed to aim at is the customer's heart. Because when our product or service, when we enter the customer's heart, everything else happens on its own. Profits happen, business happens, customer acceptance happens. And that is what leads to blockbuster sales. This lesson stayed with me, and that is, in fact, that leads me to that next most important question: that why do entrepreneurs often undersell? We're great when it comes to all the passion that we have for our product, for our service. Despite that, why do entrepreneurs often undersell? I'm going to share 3 reasons why entrepreneurs often undersell. 3 top reasons. Number 1, the mindset. Now, let me ask you a question.
What do you mean by undersell here?
Stop the screen sharing. Yes, I'm going to just stop the screen sharing, and yeah. But what I mean by underselling here is that, why don't we sell enough? Why don't we sell more effectively? Why don't we sell more? What is that mindset? Or why is it that we want our customer to be drawn to our product than we being drawn to our customer? That is what I mean by undersell. And that is and I'm going to talk about three top reasons why we do that. The first reason is the mindset. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. Can you please close your eyes for exactly 2 seconds and tell me what is the first picture or image that comes to your mind when I say the word sales or selling? Can you please share in the chat box what is the first image that comes to your mind in 2 or 3 words? The first image that comes. Buying, okay. What is the
Roma,
Amul?
you started sharing your screen. Kindly stop, please.
Need and requirement. Solving. What is the image? What is the image? Like, what is it that you see when I say the word selling? What is the first picture that comes to your mind? Like, what is the picture? Person standing and answering. Absolutely. A sales girl. Yes. Brilliant. That's amazing, Vaibhav. Yes. Chintan says a person standing and answering. Yes. In fact, when actual research was done on this question, one of the most common answers that came up was a Eureka Forbes salesman, a guy standing and answering questions, transaction of money and goods or service. Yes. The mindset that I'm talking about is that a lot of us as people, I'm talking about as people, not as business owners, as people, we have a mindset that selling is something which is very, it's very sleazy. It's not a very dignified thing. If I have a great product, people should come to me. All I have to do is just let the world know that I have an amazing product, but I will not go and sell that product. I will just, I'm going to stand in my corner here with my hands around me, and I'm going to wait for people to come and buy from me. I cannot, it's below my dignity to actually go, and because the mindset is that if I'm selling, I'm actually that Eureka Forbes salesman who's going and ring the doorbell and Yes. Oh, brilliant word, Mr. Ramesh. Yes, exploitation. Yes, we carry something known as a seller's guilt. We feel that when we are selling, we are exploiting somebody. That we are we feel sleazy. That we feel that, oh my God, like, no, I'm trying to sell. I'm looking at the guy's wallet. I'm waiting for him to take the check or the cash out of his pocket and give me. These are the kind of connotations that we carry in our head, which is one of the top reasons why people um, go back, or people take a step back when it comes to sales. What do people do when this mindset comes? The first thing they do is, okay, I don't think selling is my strong point. Let me hire somebody to do that for me. Okay, let me get somebody else who can sell for me. Let me get somebody else who can do that job, because I don't think I'm good at that, and I don't think that's my strength. That's one reason we often give ourselves when it comes to sales. Very common, because marketing is not seen like that. The sales and marketing are two very different words in that. People are drawn towards, oh, I take care of marketing. I don't do sales. Because sales we carry that mindset towards sales. Arrogance of attitude of product superiority, says Mr. Vasant. Yes, definitely one of those mindset hooks that I make, which hold us back. Now, the number one thing that reason why entrepreneurs undersell is the mindset. This mindset towards sales is a huge reason. Now, let me look at the second reason. Now, I said that what do we do when we have that mindset? We delegate that. We delegate that. We delegate the selling to somebody. Now, yes, if it's a company like, say, a UB Group, or a Colgate and Palmolive, or a multi-million-dollar company which has been in the market forever and it's an established brand, I mean, that makes sense. But as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, as a business owner, we are the first. As an entrepreneur, I am the first product or service that my company is offering. It's me. It's my word that convinces my customer to buy. So when we delegate, that the understanding of what value I'm adding to my customer, that passion cannot be replicated by somebody who doesn't feel that. Unless when you're an entrepreneur, you have to get your hands dirty. So a huge reason why that doesn't happen is because people delegate selling. People delegate that work to somebody who they feel that will do that job for them. And third, now this is going to be a bit of a shocker. The third reason why people undersell, why entrepreneurs undersell, is passion. No, I'm not talking about lack of passion. I'm talking about having a lot of passion. Yes, but unfortunately, our passion is directed towards our product and our service. When we create something, we feel very strongly about it, right? I mean, think about the time when we were, like in school, when when we were creating something, when we were in a project, we were asked to create a model or a chart or something. And when we take some help from somebody, our feeling about that thing was different when we did everything on our own. Do you remember the kind of aggression and passion with which we would defend that? If there's a small little color thing somewhere, no, there's a reason behind why I did that, why I did it like that. That's how we think. And that is I call it the passion trap, because we are we keep ourselves very close to our product and our service. We feel very strongly about it, which is why our number one focus happens to be on the product and service and not on the customer. we have to, oh yes, absolutely, I totally agree there, Mr. Vasan. The passion towards serving and supporting customers, the core purpose, yes, as Gandhiji said, absolutely correct. Now here, for an entrepreneur, that is of prime importance. Very, very important it is for us to understand that we have to learn the art of detaching ourselves from our product and service and keeping our customer as the number one focus and number one priority. These are the three top reasons why entrepreneurs undersell. Do you have you gone through any of these in your in your business or in your entrepreneurship journey? If yes, please type yes in the chat box, please. I have definitely gone through it because I felt extremely passionate about my product, and then I actually forgot or I overlooked that my product is actually insignificant without the value that it's adding to my customer. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. When we take the product first approach, we know this is exactly what happens. Unless we understand what our customer values, what our customer fears, what our customer needs, what our customer desires, and how our customer feels, how could we sell him anything? It doesn't take much of an investment into the product or packaging. To tweak, all it needs is a tweak in the communication and message, and that's exactly what I did after my consumer research drive in Africa. We just had a small tweak in the communication and message. We crossed our annual targets for evaporated milk in 6 months. And as a sales coach, when I took on my first client in 2016, my mission was very clear: to help bootstrapped entrepreneurs and solopreneurs craft a powerful customer-centric sales strategy, to inject the feel factor into their customer relationship and grow a profitable, fulfilling business. And today in this session, as we move forward, my objective is to share some key insights on sales and customer experience with you that you can apply in your business straight away and amplify your brand and revenues. If you have questions, please jot them down and keep them ready towards the end of the session. And as I said, I will take as many questions as I can. Now comes to a little bit of exercise. Now, what I want you to do is, please take a fresh sheet of paper in your notepad, and I'm going to share a let me present. Yes. Yes. Okay. I just saw a question that said, okay, these, yeah, the three factors that stops entrepreneurs from selling effectively: mindset, delegation, and passion, or the passion trap that I call it. That's what we just spoke about. Now, what I want you to do is, on a piece of paper, please draw a simple cross and just write down strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat in the 4 quadrants of the box. We are going to do a small little exercise to understand the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat of your individual sales strategy for your business and your ventures. This is how the quadrant should look like. The top quadrant would be strength and weakness, and the bottom 2 quadrants would be opportunity and threat. Now, in the strength quadrant, that is the top left box in the strength quadrant, please write down the top two strong points of your sales strategy at the moment. The top two strong points. Now, what could be the top two strong points of your the existing sales strategy? It could be the fact that, and you can draw these points from the 3 points that I said, which limit. So if you are the one who's representing your company and your organization, that could be a strength. If you have identified your customer, you know your customer well, that could be a strong point. If you have an experience in the industry that you're operating, that's a strength. So please jot down the top two strengths of your sales strategy in the strengths column. You don't have to, write an entire sentence. You can just jot down the important words in that. Say, so if I'm, say, in the agriculture equipment business, and if I have, say, 15 to 20 years of experience in that industry, then that's a strength for me in my sales strategy. It could be that I have a strong social network with my client base or my prospect base. So, for example, if you're a member of, say, a club, like, say, maybe a Rotary Club, and you know that that's a huge base of prospects for you, then that's a strength. And there are no right or wrong answers here. It's exactly what you feel about your sales strategy. This is only we are only going to reflect on what each of us individually feels about our sales strategy. If you are an independent consultant, a financial consultant, or say an insurance advisor or an insurance consultant, then if your client base has, like, say, out of 100 clients that you have, 75 clients know you from the last maybe 15 years, and they've been your clients for the last 15 years, that's a strength. So long-standing relationship or association with clients is a strength. So if you are done writing the top 2 points in the strength column, please type yes in the chat box, and we will move on to the weakness. There is, and please remember, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, there is nobody, and I mean nobody, who knows your business better than you. So please write down what comes from within, not what feels, appears, or seems right, because your answers are only going to stay with you. We are taking this opportunity to make a quick SWOT analysis of your sales strategy, not the business of the sales strategy, just the sales strategy, so we can effectively, get our product and service across to more and more customers and build our business. Okay, so now let's go to the next point, which is a weakness. Now, in the weakness column, please jot down the top 2 points of where you feel that you're not doing justice to your sales. That could be done better. That right now you're doing it in X way, but you know very well that no, there's a Y way that could be better. It could be that maybe you're delegating sales to somebody else and it's not happening properly. Could be. Or if you are, if an opportunity comes up, you are not being assertive enough. You're not being, so you're not presenting your product and your service well. If that's the case, please write that in your weakness. We will be talking about it in just in a few minutes after this. Top 2 weaknesses. If you feel that I do not know why my customer buys my product. My customer is buying my product. I'm getting, I have a sales pipeline, but I don't know why my customer buys my product. Or rather, I think I know, but I'm not sure. That's a weakness. So you can put that in the weakness column. Top 2 weaknesses in the second column. If you're done with the weakness column, please type weakness in the chat box, and we will proceed to the next quadrant. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move to the third quadrant. The third quadrant is very important and very interesting: opportunities. Now, this is something where you have to be very introspective. You have to look within yourself and think about any opportunity in selling which has come up or which could have been utilized but did not happen. What are the opportunities? For example, let me share a simple example. If you are a fitness coach, you're training people in fitness, and there is a new club that's opened, or there's a new place where you've just enrolled as a member, not a gym or anything, just a networking place, but you have not really explored the possibility of presenting your services there. Then that's an opportunity. If you feel that there is this particular person whom I knew earlier, a long back, but I've just been in touch with him again, and he's now working for a company who might need my service or my product, but I have not discussed it with him. I have not talked about it with him. I have not taken the initiative. Then please put that in the third quadrant, which is opportunity. And take my word, people, we have opportunities all around us. We have opportunities there is no business which does not have an opportunity around us. It's all about looking at the right place at the right time. So there are opportunities, and I'm sure that each one of us knows those opportunities. So this is the time to just put it on paper. 2 is a minimum. If you want to put more than 2, please feel free. 2 top opportunities in your sales strategy, in an opportunity to present yourself, your product, or your service, and put that in the third quadrant. If you're done with that, please write opportunities in the chat box. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. Now let's come to the last quadrant, which is threats. Now, what are the threats to our sales strategy? Now, what are the threats to our sales strategy are that if we, and please pay close attention to this sentence that I'm going to say. If the way we sell may not work with our customer for long, that's a threat. If the way we sell to our customer may not work for much longer, that's a threat. I'll share a very real life example that happened some time back. One of my clients, who basically runs his own textile business, he's into ready-made clothes, textile business. Now, till Jan, the business was going quite okay. He had a regular footfall into his 2 outlets, and he was doing quite well. But right from the lockdown onwards, things came to a standstill. There were a few customers who were calling him up. There were a few customers whom he tried to, send the product by courier to them, not working out. The way he was selling was not working out in the new set of circumstances. So when a new set of challenges come in, or our selling environment, our business environment changes, will our existing sales strategy work? If the answer to that is no or maybe, please put that in the threat column. If you feel that you do not have a website, or you do not do online business and you've not explored the online way of doing business, and while in the future that could be the way out, then please put that in the threat. Anything that can stop you from adding value to your customer because of limitations, please put that. Yes, absolutely. Absolute. Threat from competition. Yes. Threat from competition will always be there. Right now, this SWOT analysis we are doing is, we are not doing the conventional SWOT analysis where threat is always is external. Here, I am looking at the threat which comes from our lack of being prepared or our lack of skills which we need to acquire. So the purpose of this SWOT analysis is that what action can we take to make our sales strategy much more powerful, impactful, and robust. That is the purpose. So we are looking more internal than external. But yes, you can put a competitor as a threat if your competitor is going to get an advantage, or you think he might get an advantage because of the way you sell. For example, if you are selling fully offline and recently your competitor has upgraded to the online model, then that's a threat, because tomorrow your client might actually start buying from them. So then that's a threat. Yes, that's definitely a threat. So if you have jotted down your top 2 or top 3 points in the threat column, please write threat in the chat box and I'll get an idea. Threat as per preparedness for the new normal and these new times, supplier issues. Absolutely, sir. Yes, very, very valid. Very valid. That can come there. That, we were not prepared for the new normal. So how exactly did we react to that? The business environment may not be within our control, or we may not be able to influence it. But what we can influence is our reaction to the business environment. And here we are all about what action are we taking? What action are we committing to take today with this session or after this session? What action are we committing to take for our business? We owe it to our business. You have invested so much of thought, passion, and intent into your business. So we owe it to that. Great. So I presume that now we have all the 4 quadrants. So are all the 4 quadrants filled with at least 2 points each? If yes, please write 4 in the chat box. Great. Thank you very much. Great. Wonderful. This small little exercise that we have done in these few minutes is basically a very powerful exercise which can be done in much more detail after the session is over. On your own, you can do this in a much more detailed format to create because this is the foundation stone of your sales strategy. This is the place from where it all starts, never the other way around. This is the place from where this is to give you a picture of where we stand. Today, this is where we stand. Now let's look at what do we have to do after this. Now I will come to the part where we talk about what is that 3-step sales process which we can use and which we can implement in our business. And I'm going to share the screen once again, and I'm going to give you a overview of the 3 steps in the business. And yeah. I hope you can see my screen right now. Yes, the 3-step sales strategy revolves around 3 things: CCE: customer, communication, and experience. I'm going to go into the details of each of these, and this is the place from where you start building a powerful sales strategy in whatever domain. And this is absolutely not dependent on the domain that you're operating in. It could be a B2B business, it could be a B2C business, it could be a digital business, it could be anything. It's These three factors hold equally good for any domain of business that you're functioning in. Now let's move to the first one. The first one is the customer. When it comes to the customer, we have to answer these four questions: who, what, how, and why. 3 W's and 1 H. Easiest way to remember this, and this is how I look at the customer point of perspective. Our customer perspective is a sum total of 3 W's plus 1 H. That forms our customer profile. The first question is who. Yeah. I have a question here. Now, please take your notepads down, and I hope you're okay with applying this learning that we are sharing right now. I hope you're comfortable and okay with applying it as we do the session. If you are, please type yes in the chat box, and that will make me feel much more confident about moving forward in detail. Great. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Yes. So the first part is who. Who is our customer? Now, when we define who is a customer, there are two aspects to our customer here. The first one is a demographic profile, and the second one is a psychographic profile. Now, what does this mean? A demographic profile is very simple. Demographic profile talks about the age, the gender, the location. When I say age, which age group is my customer in? What is the average age of my ideal customer? If I'm selling a pair of exciting, sneakers, then what is the age group of my customer for that? What if I'm selling a mutual fund? What is the prospective age group of my customer? So the age, gender, location. Where is my customer from? Does he live in city? Does he live in village? Does he live in small towns? Does he live abroad? So where does he live? What is the kind of income that he earns? Would he be making an annual income of say 5 lakhs per annum, 10 lakhs per annum, 20 lakhs per annum? What is the income bracket that he falls in? If it's a business, if your customer is an organization, it's a business in a B2B domain, then what is the revenue of my company? What is the turnover? What is the turnover of the company? What is the strength of employees in a company? Why do you think the income is important, or how much my customer makes is important? Why do you think that is important? Very simple. Your customer has to be able to afford your product or services. If he cannot afford your product or service, then he's not your customer. That is why the income is important. That is why the revenue is important. If you're into the training industry, if you're into training, then if your customer, or if an organization has exactly 5 employees and they're not looking at investing into employees, and you do the large-scale training programs, then that's not your customer. So does your your client have an office? If he doesn't have an office, then maybe that's not your customer, because you do trainings on premise of your customer. So the demographic profile is are formed by these details. The next is a psychographic profile. Now, psychographic profile is that what is the lifestyle of your customer? Does the customer go to malls on weekends? Does the customer do his shopping online on Amazon or Flipkart? Does he do does he go to the nearby Kirana store and buy his his groceries for the month? Does he go to a gym, or does he do yoga? Does he is he part of a laughter club? Does he which form of social media does he frequent? Does he have a girlfriend? Do you think he'll be dating somebody, or do you think he'll be does he have kids? Are his priorities his kids' education? These are the things that form the psychographic profile. Psychographic is all about the way the customer thinks, the priorities of a customer in his lifestyle. Does he do pub hopping, or does he go into clubs on weekends? What does he do? Does he spend time with family? These are so demographic plus psychographic will tell you who your customer is, what exactly is his life is like. And why is this important? Why do you think this is important? This is important so that you know that where does your product or service have to be visible for your customer to see it. If you are selling an agricultural technology and equipment, Instagram may not be the ideal platform for you, because your customer may not be there on Instagram, your customer may be there on LinkedIn, or your customer may not be on social media at all. Your customer may be using WhatsApp more than anywhere else, anything else. Are you putting up WhatsApp stories of latest technology developments in your area? Are you putting that up? Are you putting up nice WhatsApp stories? Are you a member of a lot of WhatsApp groups? Maybe that's where your customer is. So it's important to know who your customer is and then proceed to the next part. After we know who our customer is, the next important thing is, what are my customers' Let me share the slide once again for you. What is the Fndp of your customer? Fndp. What are the fears of your customer? What are the needs of your customer? What are the desires of your customer? And what are the pain points of your customer? Fear. Do you know that a lot of buying decisions are motivated by fear, are hugely inspired by fear? Fear of what will happen to me if I do not buy this? What will happen to me if I do not avail this product or service? Now, a very simple question. Please type down in the chat window any one product or service that you know that sells on fear. What do you think sells on fear? Absolutely correct. Yes, Chintan. Insurance. Yes. Insurance sells on fear. Gold, corona medicines, Ayurveda, absolutely correct. Yes, Ayurvedic medicines, hand sanitizers were selling on fear. That if you're not having hand sanitizer, masks were selling. Medicines, yes, absolutely correct. These are products or services that sell on the customer's fear. What about the customer's needs? A safety smartwatch. Yes, absolutely. What are the products and services that sell on a customer's need? A need is something which is non-negotiable. It is not a temporary thing. It's something that your customer needs. It's a need. It's not a desire. It's a need. For example, if you're working from home, a computer with a webcam is a need. If you're working from home and you're working in industry where you do meetings like me, then yes, it's a need. For me, a good quality webcam is a need. A diaper is definitely a need. Yes, definitely it's a need. In the times of the lockdown, can you imagine one of the products which was stocked out across India? I'm not talking about the masks and sanitizers. Can you imagine a product which was stocked out for close to 2.5 months in the entire country? And for my life, I could not have imagined this to be the product. I personally went to buy this product in approximately 25 outlets in 2 cities, and I still could not find a good brand of this product. And that product was a webcam. Every chroma in the city said that webcams were disappearing in 3 hours of the stock reaching the outlet. 3 hours. Because suddenly webcam became a need. Earlier it was a desire, and that too a nice to have, not a need to have, not a must have. It was a nice to have. Even if I don't have it, it's okay, I can manage. But then it became, oh, I need to have a good quality webcam. It's very important. One thing that suddenly became from need to have to nice to have was jeans and trousers. Because it doesn't matter what you're wearing below. The only thing that matters is what you're wearing at the top. So that shifted from a need to have to a nice to have. But a lot of things shifted from a nice to have to a need to have. So what are the needs of your customer? What are the things that he needs in life to live a high quality personal and professional life? Do we know that? If no, then we need to know that today. Fndp, desires. What are the desires of your customer? Does your customer like to go on a holiday? What are the kind of desires that your customer has? It's important for us to know. It's very important for us to know, even if it is not directly related to the product or service I'm offering. That's okay. Still, we need to know, because somewhere in that journey of that acquiring that desire, our product might have a role to play. So desires are very important. And what is a pain point? A pain point is something that is causing discomfort or pain to your customer now, which means something that your customer needs a solution for right now. So if if you have a temperature, crocin, a need for crocin is a pain point. It's not a need, it's a pain point. You desperately need that right now. So do you know what are the fears, the needs, the desires, and pain points of your customer? If you're a motivational speaker or if you're a consultant, do you know what are the immediate pain points of your audience? If you're a speaker, if you're a professional speaker or a motivational speaker, do you know why your customer is sitting there and listening to you? Have they paid from their pockets and come there and sitting and listening to you? Or they're sitting there because the company is sponsored and they don't care two hoots? Both these things have very different repercussions. And as a business owner, we need to know that. Very important for us to know that. What are the fears, needs, desires, and pain points of my customer? The third question, or the third element of it, is how. How is my product or service addressing the Fndp of my customer? If it's a fear, how is my product addressing it? What is the value that my product and service is adding to my customer's life to address his Fndp? What is it that it's adding? Do we know that? If no, please write it down. It's important because that gives you that completes the customer profiling. And the last part of it is very, very important, which is why should my customer choose me? I'm an insurance advisor. There are 10 insurance advisors in every street. Why should my customer choose me? What is it that I'm offering? How is my service or product better than the guy who's offering it next door or next street or next city? Why should my customer go for me? What is the most important or most commonly niche word that we've heard is the USP. Exactly. It's very important. What is the unique selling proposition? What is it that is about my service that puts it different from the guy who's selling it in the next street or the next shopping complex? How is it different? What value am I adding more? So these are the four things. Let me go through them quickly once again. The who, the what, the how, and the why. Who is your customer? Number two, what are your customers' Fndp, fears, needs, desires, pain points? Number three, how. How is my product or service addressing the Fndp of my customer? What is the value quotient for my customer from my product or service? And fourth one, why should my customer choose me? There are so many people like me. Why should my customer choose me? We need to have answers to every four of this. These are not multiple choice questions. These are compulsory mandatory questions. This is the place where we start off the first step of the strategy. After this, we come to the next step of the strategy, which is the communication. Is the customer profiling clear to everyone? If it's clear, please type clear in the chat box. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, the next point, the after the is now we know who our customer is and where our customer is. We know that very well. So now after we've answered these 4 questions, now comes to the next most important part, is communication. How am I communicating with my customer? What is the message that my customer is getting from me? Now we are communicating with our customer in 3 ways. Is my presentation visible to everybody? Please give me a thumbs up if it's visible.
Not now.
Not right now?
No.
Oh, it's okay.
Yes, it's visible to me in
Chintan says
Mumbai.
it's visible.
So visible in Mumbai.
Oh, it's visible? Oh, great. 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 The next part is, in communication, there are 3 ways that we are communicating with our customer. Number 1, social media. Very important. 3 things about social media: right place, right time, right form. Are we present where our customer is present? Do we know which social media our customer inhabits? Where does he spend his time? Does he use Facebook? Does he use Instagram? Now, Instagram is used by a younger set of an audience as compared to Facebook. And LinkedIn is used by a professional audience. So where is my customer present? It doesn't matter which platform I like, that is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is, where is my customer present? That's the most important part. Where is my customer present? If my customer uses Instagram, then I have to be in Instagram. If my customer uses Facebook, then that is where my product, my service, or my messaging has to be. So right place is, where should I be present? Number 2, what time or when, what form? Now, what form should I be present? Does my customer consume more of video and more of picture content, or does he like to read more content? Or does he like to look at stories which just come and disappear in 10 seconds and you're done with that? In what form does my customer like to consume content? Not again, a huge mistake that we sometimes make is that we always look at what form I am comfortable in. No, that's irrelevant. In sales and marketing, the first thing that we need to understand, this sentence that we have to say to ourselves, is that we are insignificant. Our choices are insignificant. The only most significant is, what does our customer need and where is our customer present? That's the most important thing. So right form is, what form does he like to consume content? Third is, what is the right time that he uses social media? Now, how do we get this information? There are many ways to get this information. One is through a professional agency, but that costs a lot, and most of them come expensive. But the best and the easiest way, which I would recommend for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, is that please do your own research with your existing set of clients. It's a very, very simple. A simple 5-question, 10-question questionnaire on Google form costs nothing and very, very easy to make, and also easy for your customer to fill up and do. So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. There are other more attractive and more interesting ways to do it as well, but the simplest way to do that is a simple Google form, which can be created and sent to our existing, to understand what our customer does and where does he frequent. So right form, right place, and right time. These are the 3 things which are extremely important for social media. After that comes very important point. Black square box is only visible. Is my presentation still visible? or has it been? Oh, 1 second.
No, it's not visible.
Oh, it's not visible. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, is it visible now? Yeah,
Yes, it
great.
is.
So, wonderful. Yes. So, the most important thing to note here is that many of us, we hold ourselves back from being active on social media because we are looking for perfection. We want the perfect text. We take 3 days to make a very nice image. We ask somebody to make an image for us, or we ask somebody to write a nice content for us, or we get. What is important to be effective on social media is consistency. The most important thing to, okay, 1 second.
It was coming while you just disconnected.
Oh, okay.
So can you do one thing? If you can just put it to me on WhatsApp, I'll just download it and share through my screen. So it will keep you hassle free.
That would be good. Yeah.
So just put it to me on my WhatsApp, and sorry for this technical glitch. We'll just get going in another minute. Just
Yeah, I'm
drag drop
just,
in my personal chat, and then we are good to go.
yeah, I've just sent it on WhatsApp.
Yeah, so it seems it is uploading. Have you sent it on the personal chat?
Yes.
It's yet to appear here.
Oh, it's.
I just type please drag drop here.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's done.
Okay, sure. So I'm sharing my screen now.
Yeah.
Yes. We're here, right?
Yes. Yes. The next page. The next page.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Please continue.
So yeah, now it's visible to everyone, I presume.
So now I'll not be
Great.
able to
So
look at the chat. You will have to look at the chat now.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it's visible to everyone. Yes, it's visible to everyone. Great. Wonderful. So in social media, we spoke about two important things. Number one is to be there at the right place, in the right form, and at the right time. That's very important. That's the first part. Second part is consistency is much more important than perfection. Being consistent on social media is the unspoken or the open secret of social media success, is to be consistent. Consistency is the name of the game. It's as simple as that. It is not perfection. Nobody expects perfection in social media. And every time we are consistent, we get better with our posts. And that's the most important thing to remember, that for each one of our business, social media can be an absolutely important and effective tool for the future. One of the best ways to make our business future proof is social media, to leverage social media, to have a social media strategy in place. So that's one way of communication. The second way of communication, which all of us use a lot, is word of mouth. Haven't we had organic referrals where we work with a client and the client is very happy, and that client then refers us to another client, right? We've all experienced that. Now, there are two important things that are very important to note here: testimonials and ease of referrals. Many a time we do great work, we're focused on providing an amazing experience to a customer, but then we don't think about it from the point of view of our business and our sales and our marketing, which is now the two ways to do that extremely effectively is, number one, taking testimonials. Do we have a very easy, seamless, and effective way of taking testimonials from our customer? Again, let me connect this back to the customer profile. Is my customer comfortable on the online forum or using technology? If not, then we have to be prepared to take the testimonials in a form that is easy for him to give. One of the most effective form of testimonials, if you're targeting millennials or youngsters in the age group of maybe say 15 to 25 or 15 to 30, would be to use video testimonials. That they're very comfortable giving video testimonials, but somebody who may be in a different age group, maybe between 50 to 60, may not be very comfortable in giving a video testimonial. So we need to collect the right form of testimonial from the right kind of customer. So we need to know what is the kind of testimonial that our customer would be comfortable giving. Very important. Because when you are comfortable and easy, when something is comfortable and easy, the chances of people doing it is much higher. Because please understand, you have everything to gain from a testimonial. A customer has nothing. The customer has already gained value from your product or service. You are the one who has to gain everything from that testimonial. So make sure that you have a robust testimonial system for for a product or service, and it is visible at a place where your customer frequents. The next one would be ease of referrals. How easy is it for somebody to refer you? Simple example. If you are in the business of financial products, like say mutual funds or debt funds or whatever, if you're in the field of financial products, how easy is it for an existing customer or a friend or a contact to refer you to somebody else? An example would be that, in fact, this is something that happened very recently. Okay, a friend of mine is into the publishing business, book publishing business, and I know that he does quite good work. And I was in a meeting with another set of clients, and one person in that meeting actually mentioned that he's looking at getting a book published, and he's looking at options. And immediately my friends that thought struck, that okay, I can actually refer this person because he does good work and he might be able to add value to that person. So Now, how do I share that reference? Normally, how do we share reference? I think I know somebody. I'll give you his contact number. Why don't you talk to him? What do you think? Is that a very effective way of sharing a referral? If yes, please type yes. If no, please type no in the chat box. Is that a very effective way of sharing a referral? Exactly. Because people have a propensity to avoid talking to somebody that we do not know unless the need becomes a pain point. Let me repeat that once again. People have a very strong tendency or propensity to avoid talking to a person we do not know unless the need becomes a pain point. If it's only a need or a desire, we will not take the initiative to talk with. It's a very low probability of that. So what is the right way to do that? Now I had a WhatsApp profile of my friend on. I know his name. Okay, I know his name. It starts with P, so I immediately look in P in my phone. And the moment I clicked on it, I have kept a message starred, and that message starred says it has his digital card, which means what does he do? This is what he does. A small little image which is starred message out there. And he had sent it to me long back, not anytime recent. He sent it to me almost, I think, 1.5 2 years back. And he said, if somebody needs a book publishing service, please share these details with him. So what I did was, I just told that person who was talking about it, I said, I think I know just the kind of person you might be looking for. I know him well. I'm just sharing something. I just shared that digital profile. It went to the guy. I said, he's recently done this, and I think the best way to connect with him is, you can just send a WhatsApp message with my name on it, and he will call you back. How does that sound? Does that sound more comfortable for the person? Then put yourself in the shoes of your customer, or of that person. Oh, nice. I'm looking at it. Okay, that looks interesting. Oh, and I don't have to call and talk to anybody. I just have to send a WhatsApp message saying, hi, I got your reference from Vinay. Hi, I got your reference from Vinay. When can we talk? That's it. 2 sentences, comfortable, and the other guy will call me and initiate the conversation. Similarly, and now this happened because my friend sent me that digital profile, asked me to star it and keep it. On my own, I may not have started and kept. He said, can you please star it and keep it so that when you need it in a moment, it will be there, right up there. And when that moment came, I could actually share that reference, and this entire thing took exactly 90 seconds, if not more. If not less. How easy is it for your network, your clients, your friends to refer you? Please have a referral strategy ready for your business. It's very important. That's the most powerful form of organic business development, word of mouth. The third in place where communication becomes extremely important is direct sales. Direct sales is very simple. Right personnel plus right training is equal to right results. If you are looking at something that will suddenly take your sales up to the next level, let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, something like that does not exist. Sales and marketing is always a process. It is not a get rich quick or make it big quick. There is no scheme in sales and marketing that ever works like that. It has to happen in a structure, in a process. And when I say right personnel, is that when you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, it's you who has to be representing your product and service. Yes, the operations can be trained and delegated and trained and delegated. Basically, you need to have a right set of people who can actually represent or do that the operational part to make your selling easier, to make the marketing process easier. Very simple example. If you have to put up 7 social media posts in a week, if you decide to sit and make the designs and content every single day, that's not going to happen. We all know that, right? So you may be the words may be yours, but at the same time, if you have somebody to post it for you at the right time, you have somebody to make the designs for you at the right time, somebody who understands your business and your service, then that is something that needs to be delegated. You should have the right personnel, the right team for that. And the right team needs the right kind of training, because right team without right training, no great results. Right training, but not the right kind of people, not right results. Right person, right people plus right training is the right results, gives you right results. And lastly, important in direct sales is that create the right buying experience for your customer. And by buying experience, there's a huge misconception in the market. This is very important, that customer experience is not equal to asking your customer how his family is doing and how his relatives are doing. No. Customer experience is about making the process of doing business with you extremely easy, effortless, and fast. Easy, effortless, fast. Is doing business with you easy, effortless, and fast? If you tick on all these 3 points, then that creates an amazing buying experience for your customer. These are the 3: social media, word of mouth, and direct sales. These are the 3 important pillars of your communication. And communication is the second phase of your sales strategy. And the last and the third phase of your sales strategy, if we could move to the next slide, is, and which again derives from communication, is what is the kind of experience we are giving. I'm going to explore that here, the ease of communication and ease of doing business. How easy is it to reach you? How accessible, how fast do you reply to messages on your social media handles or on your WhatsApp? Do you get a WhatsApp message on Monday and you reply to it maybe after 2 weeks? Not working, especially if that is the place where your customer contacts you. Not working. Ease of communication is extremely important in today's times, because people do not have time, people do not have focus, people do not have attention. People do not have time, people do not have focus, and people do not have attention. So as an entrepreneur, we have to make the process of communicating with us extremely easy. People should be able to get in touch with us with minimum effort. If they have to follow 3 to 4 steps to get in touch with you, no. That may work when you're a Sony service center or a Hitachi service center, yes, because it's people's need and they don't have a choice and they are not happy about it, they will still go ahead with it. But when we are an entrepreneur, we are starting out, we are a startup, we are a solopreneur, we have to make the process of working with us extremely easy, communicating with us extremely easy. Effortless is the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Very importantly, we have to make the buying experience extremely effortless for our customer. And lastly, we come to the final part of the 3-step process, which is the feel factor. What is the feel factor? We have just covered the feel factor. I'm going to just completely condense it into the clear definition of a feel factor. A feel factor is something that your customer gets, not you. It's your customer's feel factor. The feel factor is equal to your reputation plus your communication plus your buying experience. When I say your, it's basically your product or your service. If you're a motivational speaker, or if you're you're a mobile app development company, what is the reputation that is reaching your prospect? That is, I'm your prospect. So what is your reputation that's reached me? In which form? Where? In what format? Which form of social media? How did it reach me? Did it connect with me? Did I feel something when I saw that? That's reputation. Communication. How did you communicate with me? How easy was it to get in touch with you? How was the communication of your team with me on that product or the service? And how was the experience of buying from you? Did I feel nice about it? All these three put together is equal to your feel factor. And going forward, especially in difficult times like now, it's a feel factor that decides what the customer buys. It's the feel factor that decides if the customer stays with you. And it's the feel factor that decides if the customer talks about you to other people. Very important. Very, very important. Friends, it's extremely important that our customer not just buys from us, but also talks about us. So all these three things add up to the feel factor. And I've just taken you through the process from understanding the customer, curating the communication, and creating the experience. All these three things put together form your sales strategy. I'm not going to talk about creating a sales funnel and evaluating customers and having a door opening strategy or having how to make a sales pitch. No, my clear cut agenda in this one is that by focusing on our customer and the value that we are creating something which is long term, which is sustainable, and which is guaranteed to give blockbuster results to our revenue and our bottom line. Because customer loyalty is a premium today. It is to more. And why is it a more of a premium today? Because you're not competing with the other business in your street. You're competing with every mobile phone that is there in the pocket of your customer. The mobile phone that is there in the pocket of every customer, that is what we are competing with today. Right from a thing that a packet of packaged food that you buy from a grocery store, to the services of a financial advisor, to the services of a speaker, it's all available on this. It's all available right here. We are competing today with this. And it's extremely important for us to craft a robust, future-proof, calamity-proof sales strategy. And we have to take the initiative to drive it. There are no two ways about it. There is no shortcut to it. There is no substitute to it. Nobody can make your sales strategy other than you. And we can make that difference if we have a fabulous sales strategy in place. Before we wrap the session up and open the question Q&A, the 5 tips and hacks that I promised. Where's that slide? 1 second. Okay, no problem.
No, I'm projecting your PPT, so you won't have it. No?
Okay. Yes. Yes. The tip number 1 is, and this is something which I very strongly believe in, because all these 5 tips and hacks are very related to the current time, the pandemic, the lockdown, and the changing mindsets of customers across domains. The first tip and hack that I would like to share is very simple. 2 words: use technology. Use technology. I've talked about it to a lot of clients. In fact, one client told me a couple of months back that I believe in the old school of business. I mean, I respect that. I admire that. Absolutely great. But old school of business is not sustainable today and in the future. We have to embrace technology. No, we don't need to know all the A's and the B's and the C's to use technology. Or we need to start somewhere. Use technology and leverage technology in our sales and marketing. There are tools available for everything under the sun. You can make your own posters better than anybody using the simple tool like Canva. I make all my posters, all my social media posts, and all my presentations on Canva. It's extremely easy to use, and it's a free tool. I mean, you can use a pro version, but then a pro version is not exactly mandatory for us to start using it. And this is just one of the examples. There's an online tool called Wave Accounting. So very useful tool for accounting software for startups and solopreneurs who want something to generate invoices. So similarly, there are tools available for everything. So use technology is the first tip and hack. Very important. Second thing is, I call it the IOTA rule of customer experience. IOTA, IOTA. I stands for intent, O stands for observation, T stands for thought, and A stands for action. The IOTA rule of customer experience. If you want to give your customer a great experience, number one, have the intent, which means that yes, I want my customer. It's not about that my customer wants a mobile phone. I go and give the mobile phone in his hand and my job is done. Please look for an entrepreneur or a solopreneur. The business is not a transaction. The business is a relationship. So invest in that and it starts with the intent that yes, I want to give a great experience to my customer. Extremely important. Number two, observation. Observation is that you have to observe your customer. You have to observe your customer. What does your customer do? Where does he go? All the customer profiling things that we discussed earlier, you have to observe your customer. Only when you observe will you get to know his needs, his desires, his pain points, his fears. Only when you observe and spend time with your customer, that's when you know that. T stands for thought. After you've observed, you understand this is what needs to be done. Then comes the thought. Okay, what is the action that I need to take? And then leads directly to the action. That yes, this is what will make the buying experience for my customer great. It's very simple. I was working with a financial advisor, and in the time of the lockdown, I had to get some a few documents shifted from one fund to another fund. And my the guy whom I was working with, everything was fine. But during the lockdown, he said that I asked him, is there an online option available? He said no, you'll have to fill up the physical forms. I said okay. Now what? So can you come to the office? I said I'm not comfortable. I have a infant at home, and it's risky to go to a crowded place. This happened in April. So I said okay. What about that? So now what is the other alternative? He said I will send you the form, and you can fill it, and then I will send somebody to collect it. And he gave me a story on that. What happened is that for 3 weeks, nobody turned up. 3 weeks, absolutely nobody turned up. Then I called up, and overall, it took around 40 days to get that work done, which could have been done if that person had taken an initiative. I got my work done in 40 days, and in 45 days, I had a new person to take care of my account. That's the importance of a great customer. That's the importance of experience. Are we investing thought and action to create a great experience for a customer? When there is a calamity, please understand that when there is a situation like this, please understand that customers' priorities change. The share of the wallet changes. A lot of things change in his house, in his mind. We have to be sensitive to that, and our communication, our relationship building takes a different level. It's a huge opportunity. A lot of us look at it as a calamity. I call it an opportunity. That's the opportunity for you to get into his heart and make sure that you stay there and you be the number one point of contact for your customer when he needs anything that is in your area of expertise. So the first tip was use technology. The second tip was the IOTA rule of great customer experience. The third, very, very important tip that I would like to share today is that the extra mile rule. What is the extra mile? The extra mile is that the extra effort that we are putting in to understand our customer and give him great experience. We just talked about that in IOTA. What is extra mile different? Extra mile is that go the extra mile to share value with your customer. Share value. So if you are, you are in the field of, say, fitness, share free value to your customer. Do not charge for value. Share free value with your customer. It could be very simple. Like I used to work with a fitness trainer 3 years back. I lost contact with him after that, and I discontinued working with him when I moved the city. Now, what happened is, even till today, every fortnight, he sends me a video or a docket which he actually shares, in his private group. He sends it to me. One fortnight it is that, how a posture to avoid back pain due to long working hours. One document was, or one video is that simple exercise, stretching exercises that you can do when you're spending a lot of time in front of the laptop. Neck exercises or nutrition. What is the kind of food that you can, consume in this time for better health? Basically, just simple, like 3-minute videos or 2 or 4-page documents. That's all. He creates it for his close group community. But because I was his client for 6 months, he keeps sending it to me. Now he's always at the top of the mind. When it comes to fitness and nutrition, before I think of anybody else, his name comes to my mind. That is what happens when you share value with your customer. Share value with, open your hearts out and share value. When you share value, one thing that stops a lot of us from doing that is that when we share value, we think that if we share free value, he will not need us. It actually works the other way around. When you share free value, your customer gets bonded with you. Then that relationship is not based on need or a transaction. It's based on trust. It's based on a strong emotional bonding that you have with people. Oh, this guy always shares. That is what makes a difference, ladies and gentlemen. That's something that makes a huge difference. So please share value. The extra mile. That is what I call as value for your customer. That's the third tip. The fourth tip is, please network effectively. In today's times, word of mouth assumes even when there is clutter. It's very simple. In fact, in one of the questions in the chat windows, I saw one of the must-have items as a diaper. Now, to buy a diaper, when we search on Amazon, we see around 10 brands and 10 different SKUs of the diaper available. In that, how do we decide which one to buy if we do not have any idea? We ask the person who has used diapers recently, right? Which one do you buy? What was their experience? If we don't know somebody like that, we look for reviews. And we look for reviews of people whom we feel are reliable when it comes to reviews. Word of mouth flies in the world of clutter. Word of mouth is powerful in the world when there is so much of information overload that we are getting thrown into our face every day in every form of media. Word of mouth is critical. Word of mouth is important. So network effectively and build connects with people. That's when our product and our service gets referred in networks. We've already talked about making our business, our product, and ourselves easily referable. Here I'm talking about that network effectively. Be part of networking communities. Be part of. The TMI I think is an absolutely amazing platform for networking. Amazing, serious platform of value sharing, and I'm very new to this community here. But the kind of content that I see shared on this community is absolutely gold dust. A free community where there's so much value being shared. These are the kind of platforms that we can use to add value and to meet new people and to network effectively. The age and era of being in our shell and doing business is over, unfortunately, friends. That's just not going to happen. We cannot stay inside our shell and expect business to happen. Same clutter with choice and options. Absolutely, sir. Yes, totally agree. Totally agree. There's so much of clutter and noise around that we have to stand out. And networking is an amazing way of doing that. And coming to the last and the fifth tip which I would like to share here. In B2C, they're like in the B2C domain of business where we are dealing directly with a customer, we always think of the customer as a single individual identity. Actually, we often overlook the presence of an influencer in the customer's life. Please focus on the influencer along with the buyer. When it's B2B, there is a buyer, there is a user, and there's an influencer. A very simple reason. If you are working with, say, a school, the management of the school is your buyer. If you're providing, say, an educational technology, the management of the school is your buyer. The user is your student because the technology is being used by the student. And the influencer could be a senior figure, maybe the principal or somebody who's actually influencing the contract closure with the school. Somebody who's putting your word to the management. In B2B, there are three entities: buyer, user, influencer. In B2C, there's a buyer and there could be an influencer. And in many cases, there is an influencer. We often, when we're buying something for the house, the family members, the kids often have a say in a lot of things. The spouses have a say in a lot of things. When we're buying something for the business, your partner or your teammate might have a say in certain things, or they could be an influencer. So the same thing applies to our customer. So we need to think about what is of value to the person whom we are talking. So when you're talking to your buyer, you talk about value for him. When you're talking to your user, you talk about value to him. And when you're talking to the influencer, you talk about value to the influencer. So be very sure what value you're talking to whom. It's very important, people. It's extremely important. This can be the difference between a great sales pitch and an absolutely bland sales pitch. This is the fifth and final tip. I'm so sorry I exceeded the time by around 21 minutes. I was supposed to wrap up by 6:30, but we took a deep dive into this topic, and I really wanted to cover as much of this on effective sales strategies as possible. So that's I'd like to share the last slide of the presentation once for all of you. If you could help me with that, Chintan, please.
Yeah, sure. Which slide you?
The last slide, the connecting slide.
Okay. This is the one?
Yes. Please share your. Now I'd like to open the floor for questions, and if I'd like to answer any questions that I can, we can talk about. And if we run out of time, then please connect with me on. I'm quite active on LinkedIn and Insta, though I would rather prefer to be more active. So yes, so please connect with me there, and I'll be happy to answer as many questions as I can. So we can open the forum, Chintan. Leave it open.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thanks, Vinay, for this excellent presentation. And let us start the Q&A. So, I'd like to go first. So we can start with Alfana. Alfana, do you have a question? Do you have a feedback to share? Alfana, are you there? Okay. Dave, do you have a question, feedback to share?
No, Chintan, I think it's an excellent session, refreshing session, I will say. Because of this today's world, as he rightly said, there's so many information is flowing in a 360-degree directions. Now, choosing the right influencer, right customer, and right partner is very important in this today. Uh, and it will be more important because now we are moving from physical or the face-to-face interaction to the digital transformation interaction. So it is more important to choose the right audience, right network, right influencer to grow the business or to connect with the business.
Right, and then definitely the customers themselves have shifted to digital medium. The social media has become not only the medium to network but also to conduct business. So that is where revisiting these steps and putting a matrix understanding over it would definitely help. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I have a
Sure.
one
Thanks, Dave.
query is that because it's now this most of the you rightly said like Amazon, you give a classic example of Amazon and diaper. Uh, in the social media, the organization who are blasting on the social media, the content and the employee, how the employee is also passing on that information, social media information to their own network. There should be a policy all corporates should follow or give the guideline that how the employee should handle the organization social media, especially on the LinkedIn, on Facebook, kind of scenario, how they should handle it. That should be a policy guideline. I have not seen much of the corporate is using internal, there's any social platform guideline for their employees. Any comment on that or any suggestion on that?
Today we have a lot of organizations which have number one is that they have the employees or the management having their accounts. Okay,
Correct.
I'm just trying to see if I'm getting the message correct. The other is they have a corporate account. Okay, now research on social media says that customers let me say common people like us, we connect much better with people. So we if say there's a startup and the company's name is say ABC Consulting, and the founder of ABC Consulting is Mr. Ram. Now if ABC Consulting has a LinkedIn profile and a Instagram profile, and Ram has a LinkedIn profile and Instagram profile, if I am a customer, I am much more likely to follow, engage, comment, and connect with Ram than ABC Technologies or ABC Consulting. So that's one part of it. And secondly, when there is a company account, it is generally populated, spread about, tagged, and promoted by the employees of the company. And the employees often request customers to share feedback on the company account. What I feel is that when you're starting up a business, your focus should be to build your personal brand on social media, because your brand will bring people to your company brand. The company brand will not bring people to you. It never works that way. You bring people because it's always your credibility that is built on social media first. It's not the other way around. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely correct. But I have not seen, suppose I've just given you an example. You said that the ABC consultant Rama and some customer. Okay. Now suppose I and Chintan is working on that ABC consultant. Okay. Now Rama is doing his job because you rightly said that he is a brand, he is an influencer for the ABC consultant,
right,
for the customer and or the partner. Correct?
right.
But as I and Chintan is also is a part of the ABC consultant. Okay, Rama or the organization has not given any guideline to us how I should use that corporate profile or corporate post to my network. That's the point.
Okay, so may I rephrase the question? So you're asking that how can you
Vinay, let me take that. So, all you're asking is the organization has a social media policy which covers not only the company, their products, their stand, as well as the sales guys, the customer facing people. So this policy also covers, and then they have been guided to avoid posting conflicting views in the interest of the business, because ultimately the customer works with the person and the company comes next. So that is where the personal ID of a person becomes a kind of the first representation on social media for the company. So that is where, I mean, you would have seen that couple of guys who have been commenting or posting certain disputed matters on their personal social media have been put out by their employers. So this is where, because brand wouldn't like to engage into certain controversies, and that is where the employees are being advised to not to take any political, religious, or any controversial stand. When you have to be very responsible when you are, even though it is your personal social media, even if it is your personal, Facebook account, but when you are engaging into this, then definitely the corporate social media policy is an umbrella policy which gets you covered, and one is advised not to take any stand or put up a disputed matter on their personal social media handle, which may lead the corporate into trouble. May I
Very
now answer
true.
your
Very, very
query?
true. I will also add to that that even when organizations are recruiting people today, the social media behavior and the social media trends, they are not the selector, but they can be an eliminator. So if you have a great social media account and you're very responsible, you may not get selected for that job. That's there. But if you have content which is controversial or which can be offensive or which shows you as as a person who's consistently maintaining a particular trend, and that doesn't fit into that company's culture, then a lot of organizations, I mean, earlier it was not the case, but now a lot of organizations are giving weightage to your social media behavior. So, absolutely true.
Agree.
So you are, irrespective of your status or title in the company, each employee gets covered under the social media guideline or policy of the organization. And if you want to discuss offline, I am available.
Arey,
Okay, let's move, because Dave is my 3 a.m. friend, so that is where I can call him and he can also call me. So thanks, Dave. Jamshid, do you have any question, query, feedback? Nirja goes next. Pets app, I'm not able to gauge your name. Sorry for that because of this. So if you can just
So,
unmute yourself, share your feedback. Yeah, go ahead, Jamshid.
yeah, thanks, Chintan. Thank you, Vinay, for this very insightful approach to selling. At times, there are a lot of simplicity when it comes to selling, and if the basic needs in terms of what is the customer problem, how the customer perceives it, all those aspects, and as you said, in terms of word of mouth, right? Getting customer attestations on as is the best kind of marketing or sales that anybody or any business would want to have. So I think these are very insightful aspects that you brought about. And at times, while we talk about the 5 Ps of the Porter model and all of that, but along with that, also what is very crucial are the points that you elaborated upon. So thank you very much for this insightful session.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you found value in that, Jamshid. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Nirja, do you have any feedback to share?
Yeah, sure, Chintan. Hi, Vinay.
Hello, Nitya.
Hi. I actually do not have anything to do with the sales domain, but actually, what I thought is whenever you attend such webinars, it's actually very useful and you always learn something from all these webinars. So, though the points that have been discussed here in this webinar are already known, but the perspective with which I have looked into these things was totally different. And it was very engaging session and uh, yeah, it was an excellent session. Good learning, especially in the lockdown period when you are put forcefully into the new normal. You cannot do business in the way you're always doing. So you have to think out of the box and do something that is not normal. So, yeah, this session actually helped me change my perspective through that. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for the
Thank
session.
you so much. And
Thank you
Nirja,
so much.
all humans are born sellers. I mean, ever since we started walking, we know that, okay, fine, how to get our points through, and that's what salespeople do. So, some or other way, even though we are not professionally practicing, but all of us are sellers, be it our siblings, be it our family, be it our friends, be it our colleagues, we have always been trying to get our point through, and that's what is selling. So thanks for your feedback, and we move next. Joshi sir, would you like to share any feedback? Ravi, you go next. Joshi sir, would you like to share any feedback, sir? Okay, Ravi, you go ahead.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Chintamai. Thank you, Vinay. This is a very nice session, especially those three factors which are touching everybody's life, knowingly or unknowingly. It is there, but like you have given the example of that small village of Africa, that is very heart touching, especially when we are most of the time we are customer for someone, but most of the time we are seller for someone, and then that is touching, and that story is having very great I can say point which is saying you should mind and you should improve upon which all points. That is one. Second, you told about CCE, that is customer uh, and demographic, etc., like age, gender, etc. And the foremost part was communication improve upon communication. And the foremost part at last you told like the technology, the adoption with the time there should be change in the strategy, etc. Those are golden words. Like there are plenty of examples like Kodak, Nokia, etc., etc. But yes, this is the time when one should go along with the technology with all ethical way. But yes, and Fndp is very much touching everybody's life, everybody's, whether they are in sales or not in sales. But yes, that is applicable to everyone. So though I am from technology background, but yes, it is touching, all the part are touching to me. Improvement are required at every place, every stage of the life. But yes, definitely I learned a lot from this session. So thank you, Vinay, for that.
Thank you so much,
In
sir.
fact,
Thank you very much.
we also need selling skills while getting the budget approved from a finance guy.
Yeah, sure. That is it. When we are preparing very hard for that, but yes, true.
It is, I mean, handling internal customers, right? I mean, customer
Correct,
is not always external. Dealing
Arre,
with
even
internal customer
sometime
is also a skill.
we are trying to like my daughter is there, when I'm trying to convince her on something, that is selling.
That is also
Yes,
selling, yes.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So
So instead of ice cream, you are actually trying to manage it and then drive the conversation to dairy milk.
correct.
So Ravi, it's a very interesting thing. So Mane, that's a this discussion is moved to another point. It's like a give and take kind of scenario.
True, sir, true.
Sales is always give and take. I mean, I give
See,
you revenue and you give me comfort.
and now festival season is coming, you see there will be demand from your every family member, and you will try to sell it by your way.
Oh yeah,
That's
So it's there.
true.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. You go next.
Yeah, thank you so much for the engaging session. See,
Can you put on your cam, please?
excuse me.
Can you put on your camera, please? Yeah, that's
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the engaging session. See, this is the I'm actually a very core technocrat, but after having developed a product, I think I'm starting to see some value into the sales strategies. So that's what brings me here, because I'm yes, I'm beginning to realize that developing specifications and finally actually developing the product, yes, that is a great challenge and everything, but communicating those things to the customers is obviously, there is a mindset. You develop a product based upon your, a set of needs. You do a small set of survey, but when you and then you develop a product, but when you're finally ready to actually pre-launch or sell it, then people like me realize that communication is important. The vision that drives your passion, and then what drives you may not drive everybody, may not be apparent to everybody. So how do you communicate that? Like, it took me a lot of time to script my educational video for my product. Yes, corona times are a challenge, because people's now the thing is, it's the de- paying capacity of your target customer may have actually gone down. So even though they may be very convinced with your product and everything, but they'll say, okay, let's just wait a few months. So this is a challenge. So thank you so much for the insight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. And now I would request Vasant to share his question and feedback. Then afterwards, Vasant would share vote of thanks on behalf of all at TMI community. Over to you, Vasant.
Yeah, thanks, Chintan. Thanks a lot, Vinay. I think a wonderful session. And then I think you touched upon and dissected and then analyzed and synthesized everything from like basically I think a lot of technocrats. I think why was mentioning product may be good, the technology may be very good, but if you're not able to sell it or if you're not able to market it properly, then I think no, then it will remain in the in the dormants and outside. Actually, basically lot of actually no, we are in Indians actually, like we have a mentality, the marketing is not my job. I don't want to get dirty hands with selling the things. And as a born when we actually come from the middle class South Indian families, like basically you are taught to not to sell yourself, not to humility. I think is basically promoted. And actually we leave it the marketing, outsource the marketing, but actually it is not. I think outsourcing will not help. Actually, I think that's what I think you emphasized. You have to have a strategy of marketing and selling, and if you outsource it, I think it's doomed to fail. Actually, basically, because you are the best person knowing about the product and the services, and you better have a strategy of selling it and marketing it rather than giving it to somebody. I think there is a good course on finance for technical people. I think this marketing and sales for technical people. No, I think this. I think you can promote that. I think no, that that will be very eye opener for all the technical people. So and they will love to that do that. Basically, see, a lot of people think that the salesman is not my cup of my tea, and they give it to the people who are extroverts and the go getters or rainmakers or no whoever is it. And the people who are delivering technical people, oh, some communication skill is there, okay, they'll front end with customers, which is not going to work. Actually, I would say, right? I think you dissected in more detail about how the process orientation of doing the SWOT analysis. Then I think customer understand it and communicate and experience. I think that's how the great companies are made. Actually, right? I think from the small companies. I think you have highlighted. I think a very the startups and I think solopreneurs also can adapt to this, as well as I think medium and large companies also can adapt to this. Basically, I think the strategy and the process remains same, and if you adopt it, I think you will get the success. I think this is very basically new set of rules. I think you have put also. I think new tips also. I think you mentioned. I think 4 or 5 new tips. I think you mentioned. I think they are very relevant in this new normal business environment. And I think if you don't adapt it, I think you will get lost or you'll get behind. Otherwise, you will not be able. If you don't adapt, I think that is the only thing. You will not be able to go ahead. Is what I can gather. Unless you adopt it, no, you will be left behind, and then there is no point in repenting afterwards. So I think this is very important. I think you mentioned, and I think I think I like that process approach of all these sales and marketing pitches. So actually, I think each of the parameters, Fndp, and then like the hacks. I think the 4 hacks, the 4 tips. I think what you mentioned. I think you can write a book on those, I believe, or you can put a separate seminar on the for that also. I think because I think there was no slide on that, but I think you had it something. But it was I think wonderful getting to know of that know what you have thought, and you have put it across very beautifully. I think I think you are given all this information to everybody to digest and take it ahead. That's all I would say.
Thank you so much, sir. You're absolutely right. There was a slide for that, but in that hurry to send the presentation to Mr. Chintan, I actually sent the older file, not the new one. So
Right. No, basically, I think the customer centric, I think, is very important. What you mentioned, I think, in the mumbo jumbo of getting the things done, usually we forget what customer is expecting or something. Actually, I'm reminded of Jeff Bezos, this Amazon CEO. I think I heard his story. 96, I think he started, or 94 he started his Amazon. Then I think 2000 somewhere he started one project, how to kill the Amazon. I think he employed the 4 very intelligent people, and he sent them to Silicon Valley to ensure that how to kill the Amazon. I think he put that, and they will be reporting to him only. They came up with the idea to, instead of having the books, you start a Kindle, and the Kindle was born at that time. So I think Kindle is making money, and the Amazon is also making money, a lot of money. So I think
very inspiring story.
Yeah. I think very important that you should know what are the threats to your business. If you don't know your threats to the business, I think then whatever your strategy, you'll be like Kodak or something we heard last time. We'll be out of business. Even though we may be very good in technically. Yeah, thank you so much. I think it was wonderful on behalf of all the TMI webinars. I think the TMI stands for Technological Management and Initiative, basically. Right? I think right. Yes. So management
technology management and innovation.
Innovations, yes, technology management and innovation. So management, I think, is what I think. All these things, whatever you mentioned, I think are not taught in even IIM and the management institutes. I believe this is what I think. What you have gathered from your work experience in the last so many years, and I think this is very wonderful. I think you have shared with us, and the practical tips. I think people will cherish and utilize for their benefit. Thank you so much, Vinay, for your time and effort in doing this.
Such an honor, and thank you so much for having me over.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vinay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the participation. Next webinar is going to be an interesting one. We are going to have another speaker who is going to deliver a talk on championing personal effectiveness. He is Professor RSS Mani, and look forward to your active participation in the next webinar. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and Sunday ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chintan. Thank you, Vinay.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.